Should probably... I'm a complete idiot. I'm gonna have to cut all this out. All right, here we are. We're not gonna go over the hooks again because we couldn't buy any, and we'll have a whole other video for that, going in depth for specific equipment. But turn this off for a second. If you look right over here, somebody's already asked, any active spot for crucian gibble or brim? Hey, they're already asking. But what we do know, look at baits, because I know we still got red worms. We could use some bloodworms and some flies. All right, Frey is basically saying, I don't know. Which, okay. Ooh, the alphas are on sale. 2000s. I would not... not every sale is a good deal. Like, I wouldn't buy this at all. Whiskey, thank you for lurking. Supporting the channel. I like my alphas, but I would not buy the 2000s. They are not worth it. On the other hand, if you're looking for an ultralight reel, there you go. That's a decent one for a lightweight reel. That's actually a really nice one, but of course that's going to be, I think 21 silver is like $30. That's a little much. 83.50 or 86.50 at Mosquito. And Grumpy, if you want to know a guy that's going to catch tons and tons and tons of usually smaller fish, Grumpy NL is one of those people. He streams on Twitch sometimes. I think his name is Trophy Hunter. He comes on and off. Like, he'll go through spells where he does a lot. We're going to take his advice. Though, we're going to go over to Mosquito. The only problem is, I don't know that we're going to have the bait. I think he's talking about brim fishing. And unless it's red worms, which we've already asked for red worm help, so. At this point, I think it's okay to ask for some garlic dough if, you know, if you've already been kind of hanging out with people and talking to people on Discord and all that. Now's the time where you're sitting there going like, okay, it's not a problem. Oh, sweet dough, egg dough, and semolina. 105. Depth 105. Oh, so he's float fishing. Ooh. Semolina 105, 86.50. I should have known that. Trophy Hunter almost always is telestick fishing. That being said, there's a good chance like we could still probably throw bottom rigs right there and hopefully do okay too. We don't have sweet dough and we don't have egg dough. We can try semolina and red worms. Sometimes even crucians will bite right there, but if not, gibbles will. All right, so 86.105. Let's jump over real quick. I'll do this on the side. Again, go to Blue Tag or go to one of these others that has the maps already arranged. See if you can find 8650. I see 8565, which the problem with Mosquito is, again, it's brand new. Not many people are on there yet. So the spot 8650 looks to be in, well, I can't even see the whole thing. Block 8. Okay. I might need some garlic dough or sweet dough or something, but or egg dough. I don't know. But if you do send me, don't send me too much, all right? Whiskey. I don't want to waste it. I'm hoping to get to level 12, and that will be hopefully the end of this account, other than some, from time to time revisiting it. So I don't want to waste too much. I know somebody gave me like 600 red worms, which is a little much. But I got some semolina, and it should work. No, because clockwise, it'll just go to waste. Please don't. Thank you for joining in, Clock, but please don't do that. I don't want to waste everybody's time and money and resources. I will never go through 50,000 egg dough, not even on my main account. I don't think anybody will. All right, so we're getting there. 80, let's see, 86. You're just gonna send me a Vinga? Hey, with my luck on this account, it might be worth just switching over. Okay, this is too far. I wasn't paying attention. Wait, so further south? I don't know where the spot is. Maybe it's over there? Which is way off of where I thought it was. There's 86. Oh, I know this spot. I know this spot. I know this spot. Okay. Yeah. I'm hoping that this works. I know he said it was he was doing telescopic floats and all. I don't have any telescopic floats. I have one decent one, but going after, what do you call them? Crucians and gibbles. We've been catching them, so we know that we can. Let's put this as a clip of about 9. And then reel that in tight. Seems a little tighter than I was expecting. We'll do one with red worm. Wait a minute. Yeah, This is a good one. And we'll go with there. There we go. And it should have been going this way. I don't know. Hey, Mirror, how you doing? I'm gonna put my headphones on. I don't know if it played or not, but I didn't have my headphones on. I'm sorry. My fault. We're gonna change our other bottom rig out for telestick there. All right, we got our float. Oh, we can't use a leader yet. Oh. Thank you, Clock. I'm gonna have to edit all that out now. We're at Mosquito now. We're at 8650 on Mosquito, which is down in the very bottom, next to the tree that leans over. We're gonna switch over to a size 1 hook. Put semolina on there because that's what was recommended. And we're actually going to. Oh wait! Don't be dumb, Joe. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. He said 105. Is this just taking a while to settle, or is it on the bottom? It's on the bottom. That one's touching bottom too. Where the heck? That's touching bottom. And I can tell by the flow that that's touching bottom. So if your float doesn't stand up, it usually means that it's sitting on the bottom. This one's definitely sitting on the bottom, but we might have just hit a fish on the head. Let's see. Some of the things that the more advanced things to look at. Okay, once you really get into fishing more and more and more around here, there's little sections like this up here. You see the sun, the time, that's going to tell you whether it's going to be light or dark or morning or afternoon. The temperature is also important, and even the wind are all important factors. That you're going to eventually want to have. Because you are just making me do a lot more work. Now, this wind is going to be fine. You will get times where you get like 6 meters per second on your wind. And when the wind gets that high, it does actually affect some of the things you do, especially like float fishing. Obviously, it's all but impossible to float fish when it's that rough. But beyond that, even if, let's say you're on the right side of it and you're casting away and you can cast, it does tend to blow fish away. I don't know why, but your bite rate can go down. All these factors are things that would in fact be big factors in real life. In real life, if the wind gets too high, it's going to blow the bait fish that are near the surface of the water. It's going to blow them towards whichever direction it is on a lake. And therefore, your predator fish are going to have to follow that. So in real life, if you're looking for something, here in Texas, we would say bass, right? Bass or catfish. You're going to want to be usually on the windward side of it, of everything. All right. I know he said 105, but I can't find anywhere unless this works. And we caught a common roach, which is not going to be terrible for us. But I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pretend that he said it's over here. Why would I reel or pull back to the right and then cast to the, across my left? Down, got ghost snagged. Caught on the bottom. Uh-oh. And actually, you know what we need to do? We need to change this over. Make sure we're still okay. Yeah, we're still okay on this. Over to our crucian gibble. We only got a couple more left anyway. Mira, I just got your joke. I'm sorry. I should have gotten that earlier. And number 1 is on. No, number 2 is on. Our little baby Chinese sleeper. This one was moving around a lot, so I'm gonna just move it just a little bit, hopefully reactivate it. Why do I have these set up like this? A little perch. Okay. It's going to get a little difficult to place this in here. There's one. By the way, you press 0 to put things down. The problem with what I'm doing is I'm trying to put them too close. And you don't set them down directly down. It's kind of at an angle. Like I say, the red worm is getting more bites. I'm not really entirely sure that that's caused by placement. I think it's just we're not getting desired species either. See, we're getting a bunch of perch. I have no problem catching perch, though. Later on, you're not going to want to catch perch too much because they don't really pay that well, comparatively. But for now, we're okay catching perch. That'll get us... Smaller perch will still get us about 50 silver or so an hour if we're catching consistently. Now, the problem is right now, he said 86.50. We couldn't find anywhere. Maybe he did change it. Maybe it was 87.50. I don't know. But this is the second time I've come to this location, and I've tried a little bit of everything. And I hadn't really done that well. Another little perch. This one's not even tagged. Throw this slightly different over here. Heard this one ringing. Thought I saw this thing bouncing, but when you open up this and you see the small screen at the bottom, you can see that if it's really moving or not. Sometimes there's some visual glitches and things like that. By the way, I was watching a stream last night. It was the only guy on the English, or not last night, yesterday, for a very short time. There's the only guy streaming in the English language. And he was doing something that most streamers learn not to do in the first couple days. And it's up to you whether you like it or not. I personally think it was something that we got right by avoiding using it. Let me reel this in real quick. All right, so see how clear it is and everything. You can see all the water. The water's kind of smooth and everything. If you're over here and you go to settings, these are all the things that we just told you. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see them or not. Like messages, we could turn that and hide if we wanted to. Rod indicator, we could do that. I mean, all these. I don't know what hardcore mode is. I'm thinking that just takes all your stuff away. Oh, I didn't know you could change this. They added that. Okay. Hey, Red, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, video is what we're actually looking for. Fog. If you turn this on, right now, obviously, it's not a big issue. But at nights, if you have fog on, we'll leave it on for now, just to kind of show. If you leave it on, you can barely see anything. Hey, we got a little bit better of a fish on here. And it's a little tench. I'm asking Grumpy or Trophy Hunter for those that remember. I just said that. Somebody else is now saying 7278. There's a little gibble carp. Clip 25. Okay. That's actually more where I want to go. And I think that's what we're going to do. This would be an intro into brim fishing, hopefully. Now, we don't have any brim ground bait. We don't have any garlic dough either. We should be able to fully utilize this reel, to be completely honest. I'm doing good. Red, how are you doing? So he's saying 7278. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I see 7178, so I know it's right there in block 5. Can't see the letters, and I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna worry about trying to figure it out. It's right around here. Is the spot F5? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna head over to. He's saying use garlic dough as bait. We don't have that yet, but garlic dough is one of those things. I think I'm gonna go on and just ask. $72, $78. Okay, so let's uh-oh. Okay. So we're good. Right. We don't really have any. Let's go for the heavier sinker. He's a clip 20. Again, I don't know where we're supposed to be casting to, but I'm going to choose this wood over here and just cast over there. I imagine that's one of you guys sending me some garlic dough. Thank you. Thanks for the garlic dough, bud. You know, I did my hair up and I've got the camera off. You know what? I'm gonna turn the camera on just because I spent the time to get this as, I mean, this looks terrible still, but I did the time to make it look as good as possible. There we go. Hey, Eddie sent some ground bait. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I don't have the skill for either one of those. And I know what. Oh, let me do this. I know I'm doing this tutorial right now, and like I said, I've built a relationship with a lot of these guys and girls and stuff like that in this game. To where they're not going to get mad if I'm asking for something small like this, but just do me a favor, and if you're new around here, don't just go and ask for stuff. Baits are usually one of those things. Hey, does anybody have any extra? That's fine. But if you start coming in here, and I keep saying this repeatedly because it's important. If you come in here and just start begging people for rods and reels and line and everything else, you're going to get ignored, and when you do get stuff, they're not going to be desirable at all. And you're going to get some really bad advice usually. All right. Let's get whatever this is in, and we'll switch it over to garlic dough. Ah, it's a little gibble carp. Okay. So let's switch this over to a feeder. We'll put Clockwise's 10 out of 10. He sent the good stuff, guys. 10 out of 10 quality. That's the type of friend this guy is. Brim mix. Oh, and we're... Ooh. Oof. Let me disassemble this. We're going to switch this to a size 1 hook. There we go. And put garlic dough. There we go. Yeah, Clock, that was one of the first purchases we made. We bought line and then a better hook. The only reason to buy line first is because the visual of it, and what we were actually going for to start with was bleak and dace and stuff like that. So having that really cheap line where you can catch them it usually does turn them off quite a bit. So getting a little bit, the first couple steps is a big improvement in line, and they're pretty darn cheap. Let's go on and do the same thing with this one. I can hear Draft in there having a good time. I'm gonna switch that out too. Switch that over to garlic dough. Pick up this one. Let's take that off. Matter of fact, let's take that off too. Let's just disassemble the whole thing. There's that, and then the brim mix. Find that piece of wood again. We're trying to be consistent, throw towards the same location every time. Okay, that one actually made it 20 meters, I guess. Now, we're only using 2 rods right now, which we could use our 3rd bottom rod. It's gonna struggle with brim over a certain size. Hey, white brim. That's a good size one too. That's gonna be worth more than most brim. But like I was saying, the more consistently you can throw it at a certain location, the more likely it is you're gonna stack up that ground bait into a certain area, and you're gonna keep the fish in that area. I pulled it too early. This is I think the main thing I have a problem with when I do this, when I transition from float fishing to bottom fishing, you don't have to grab it as quickly. See that? Now that one's on. I have no question about it. That one is on. But you can let it sit for a second and then pick it up. With float fishing, you got to catch it just on time. Bottom fishing, the reason it's considered passive fishing compared to float or spin fishing is I could drop this here, tighten it up, put that on, and now I can go run back to the town up here and then come back. And if anything's on, it'll probably still be on when I get back. Exactly clockwise. Once you get up to carp fishing or sturgeon fishing, or goodness help you, if you're over there beluga fishing, and if you get a big one on, it could be hours that a fish is sitting there on the hook without you even doing anything. All right, we're catching some small brim. Now it's during the day right now, which is kind of understandable. If we're getting bites at all, is a good thing. Okay, we got our first one that's going to make us pick up our friction just a little bit. All right, this looks like a little... Oh, it's another brim. I thought it was a little eyed. Yeah. So, I've talked about this one before, but I'll reiterate it again. If I'm sitting here and I've got a fish on rod 2 over here, I'm reeling it in, and then number 1 rod goes off, and it's pulling drag even. The only reason you would want to put this one down is if you only cared about catching this rod. Because as soon as you put that down, apologies. The only reason you want to, as soon as you put that down, you're taking a big chance, and every second that it's sitting there is a big chance of a fish getting off. And you'll get a little message over here. It says, fish got away. And that'll be it. Whereas if you reel that one in that you're already pulling in, the one that's pulling drag will still be there. Hopefully you have enough line that it's not going to pull it all the way out. Again, that's where you got to make your decisions, right? And if you set everything up correctly... Oh, we had to go all the way up to 4 kgs. So hopefully this is at least 1 kg. We got both rods. Now you see that rod 1, it's on right now. There is no sense whatsoever in switching over. Now, there we go. 1.4 kg brim. We're starting to get towards the night anyway. That's what we're expecting to see most of the night, hopefully, is those brim over 1 kg. That's what we're wanting. That's where all the silver is. Almost a 1 kg gibble. And yes, you'll still get gibbles right here when you're brim fishing. And as you can see, if you look at the lines, one line went this way, one line went that way. That comes from this skill. Fishing with a feeder rod, or later you'll be fishing with a carp rod. You're not going to use a feeder rod for very long. Like, you'll still use it maybe for a long time, but you don't really need to put points in it. If you're going to put points into a bottom rod that's not carp, do the picker. Because eventually you're going to switch all your feeder rods out for pickers, more than likely. Beyond that, I always put 3 points in a bottom rig, or a simple bottom rig, or paternoster. They're not the exact same, but they have very similar capabilities. And then once you get further on down, your classic pop-up, your snowman, all these are hair rigs, by the way. These are for boilies. And then your loop rig. Oh, I could hear just the drag. We've got a good fish on right now. Hopefully that's over 1.5 kg. I can hear the thing turning just a little bit, but it's not. We're still reeling in faster than the drag is pulling. 2.6, that's going to be a good payday for us. Yeah, and if you're constantly pulling fish in, we talked about this last on this energy bar. If it starts getting into the red, your damage goes up significantly on your gear. So when you're young or you're low level, it's usually not a big deal because you're probably going to swap it out soon. But you want to keep track of that. So if it starts getting into the yellow about halfway down, make sure you drink some tea or some coffee and get it to come back up. Some ways you can reduce your actual energy drain is not lifting the rod, and not using the shift button. You can save a lot of energy by not doing those. The shift button just means you reel faster. I know we've said that before, but clockwise is saying good ground bait is worth its weight in gold. 100%, I agree. But we're saying not to put points in the bottom, our basic bottom rig. And mostly I agree. I've just found it for me. And again, you can change this later. If you want to spend some gold and reset all this. I think you even get one free reset still. I'm not entirely sure. We can look at that. Yeah, I think you still get one free reset. I put it here because it helps you grow faster, because you're going to use this bottom rig, simple bottom rig, until you get up to loop rig, which is 70%. It's going to be a while. We're at 20 almost. We are getting some decent brim here. So you saw me lean to the side. There's, like I said earlier, there's two ways to put tension on the rod. You can either lift the rod or you can pull it to the side. Pulling it to the side drains a lot less energy than lifting the rod. So it's usually a better option. With these smaller fish though, brim and such, lifting the rod isn't as big a deal. I do think that there's a larger chance of a fish getting off once you do start getting into bigger, like carp and stuff, if you lift the rod. Yeah. So one of the contributors here, very active in the community, Bomer Stem, is in the chat saying, if you focus on bottom fishing till you get to 70, you'll get there pretty quick. And your gear's not going to be really good before that anyway. So you don't need to focus on trophies. And I mostly agree. I just find that the average is higher. So catching these brim, for instance, if you don't have any points in it, the likelihood of you getting, 1 kilo plus on with no points is lower usually. I don't know. It's just been my experience. I could be completely wrong. But one thing I think we should do, I don't think that we could do the 3 kg spark. Put some 3.1 kg line on. Put this, and we'll put a swivel or a sinker on. We don't have any feeders, leaders, and a size 8 hook. Yeah, at low levels, you need to focus on getting silver, but that's the whole reason we're looking at getting larger specimens of these smaller fish. I didn't set the clip on that, so we know it went 24 meters. Now, how much of this ground bait do I have left? Because I'm scared that we might have just overfed. So we got 28. So we are 2 over the 10. Ten's a sweet spot. Once you get to 10 ground bait in an area, you got to be careful about feeding more. All right, we got us a good one here. I'm kind of thinking this one may not be a brim. If it is, it's going to be a good size one. It is. It's a brim. 1.7. There we go. Oh, I meant to take the ground bait off of it. Although I don't think my throwing is consistent enough to really bother the feeding ratios in the area. Yeah. We're going to see at the end of this day, or the end of this night, we'll go trade in the fish. And see how that compares to what we've been catching, because we've been catching, again, we've been focusing kind of on the smaller stuff, dace and crucians and gibbles, which crucians and gibbles are kind of on the same level as brim in terms of size. Maybe not on the top end, but the ones you're actually going for. Oh, hello. All right, this is pull and drag. Again, I don't know what all's coming out of this. I just realized I hadn't had the music on the whole time, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put it on right now, but it does tell me that at least you guys are getting game sounds, which is good. This will help out editing, to be completely honest. That's the best part about it. And the good thing about techno or the electric music, when you edit something, you don't know whether it's just a change in the music or it's, edited. So, by the way, if you are looking for the videos, 2 of them are up. Exclamation point YouTube is the channel that they're uploaded to. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content making it, so hopefully you enjoyed the content in terms of the actual YouTube. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe and the thumbs up on that video. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get that channel started and going, and it's going to have RF4 content. It's going to have some other content on there once I get through all this. I'm just not a very good editor, to be completely honest. I'm learning. I gave up learning 2 or 3 different editing softwares because I can't consistently get them to work. Come on. Okay. Go this way. There we go. All right. That's a 3.8 kg brim. That is surprisingly not our biggest fish because we caught that one common carp over there winding. Now, I'm going to go for the smaller one here. It's not pull and drag, so I know it's really small. I'll get it off the books. As you can tell, the bite's back on again. Now I'm lifting the rod. Now, we just talked about how lifting the rod is gonna drain the energy quicker and all. The only advantage you have over lifting the rod over going horizontal is lifting the rod vertically is actually going to pull the fish towards the surface of the water. Once they're on the surface, as long as you're reeling, they don't usually fight much. See, like now, I can hold that shift button and it's not a big deal. You see, he fights a little bit there, here and there. 2.1 kg. It's perfect. That's exactly what we want to catch at the top end. Now we can't put 100% of the power of the reel into this because, oh wait, yes we can. We changed it out. You gotta remember, this one's on a size 8 hook, so the consistency of size is going to be a lot smaller. And I keep forgetting to put the clip on 20, so it's not actually sitting in on any ground bait. I'm giving y'all some free stretches. Ah, there we go. Yeah, sometimes my back just gets a little... That comes from not having a good chair. But I did steal my wife's chair. I didn't steal it. I asked her for it. She wanted to use her old chair, and her company bought her a new chair. So I just took the new chair. All right, we're getting through with morning. The bite will usually calm down about 5 o'clock. We'll start getting a bunch of smaller brim, say 1 kilo and less. That's because brim bite at night usually. Now, there are times where you catch 1 kilogram plus brim all day long. Is it 7 a.m. clockwise? I don't know. I usually see a decrease about 5, but if it's 7, that's fine. Ah, a little crucian. It's nice to get those mixed in. It's a 1.3. That's not a bad crucian. All right, so these are all bouncing. You don't want to pick them up while they're bouncing. Caught all your trophies from 3 to 6 a.m. I'll be honest, I don't think I did. I think I caught 1 trophy brim the entire time I've played this. Now, I've caught a lot of brim, but I've never really focused on it like some people do. I've just never found it that fun to catch them. And that's where stylist choices come. You know, like what you feel like catching. Uh, Here we are about to get to level 12. At level 12, I can tell you that my personal opinion, mosquito and winding are on the back burners. 100%. Moving over to either Old Berg or Belaya. Old Berg, if you want to do float or floater bottom fishing, is the best, in my opinion. And Belaya, if you want to do spinning or even float fishing for smaller species, absolutely, it's awesome as well. Hey, there's level 12. Now I've unlocked a couple locations. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Let me go and pick this up. Thank you, everybody. I will say thank you in chat as soon as I get this fish in. Are we going to get a 1 kilo brim on this little rod? We are. Nice. And I'm still not clipping it. Okay. I know it's less than 24 meters, but you know what, let's pick this retrieval speed up to 50. Let's go and do this the right way. And let's say thank you to everybody in the chat. There we go. Rod 1 is going off. It's not a big one. Hopefully it's another 1 kg. Yeah, and again, I said that last time, and I do this all the time because what I'll do is I'll cast it out and then put it down and not think about it. And then once you got a fish, it's automatic, so you don't have to worry about it. And I think I've covered this before, but if you see the little button come up there, it's like reel speed is automatic. What I'm doing is I'm pressing R, like I'm going to change the retrieval speed. And if it comes up as speed is set to automatic, that means you 100% sure have a fish on the hook. Now that doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to stay there. I've had multiple times where I pressed R and went to go pull it up tight and it just pulls out of the mouth because it's not fully set yet. But it gives you a good indication of if a fish is actually on. Once you get to... When you start fishing for roughies and stuff with the bottom rods, sometimes it's really hard to tell. That's when the inline rigs and stuff like that is a lot better also. And if you ever are curious, we got a point we could spin, but not harvesting. Making ground bait. We're gonna put another one into making ground bait because when we want to make ground bait, we want it to be good. All right, let's open up this one and go to here. This gives you a kind of an overview. If this is the first time I'm going over this, so we'll cover this probably a couple times, to be honest, because I'll forget that I've covered it. Basic bottom fishing rig. This tells you that it's is how it's set up. A weight is attached to the main line with a knot or a treble swivel, and universal for it to tell you like it's good in still water and in currents. Has low sensitivity but fast auto hooking. So you may not know that it's on there, but it's gonna set the hook, right? Paternoster is a little bit better on sensitivity, and its auto setting is also active. So if a fish does pull on it, it will hook itself pretty normally. An inline has high sensitivity. So this is, and it's telling you it's best suited for fishing moderate sized fish in standing waters. This is not one you want to use it like winding in the river, right? Normally you can. There's nothing wrong with it. You can do it, but it's mainly for fishing in still water. This one doesn't say what it's used for. Loop rig. It says it's something between a paternoster and an inline rig, which 100% accurate. It's got like a little swivel basically. It goes back and forth with here. It's got really good sensitivity, but its auto hooking is mediocre. And then of course you got, all your hair rigs. You got your regular hair rig, which is for sinking boilies, snowman, which has a sinking and a floating, and then pop up, which is a pop up boilie. Then your method rigs is basically the same thing, hinge, stiff. All these are just carp rigs that we'll get to much later. Child rig, I'm not actually sure what it. Okay, so it's a pop up. I hear one of my rods going, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. All right. I'm gonna say it's this one. Yeah, this is gonna be the big one that we got. Now we know we're at 29, so we don't want to go up anymore. If it is pull and drag, don't. This isn't bass fishing. It's not. I'm trying to think for the Americans here. It's not crappie fishing. It's not bass fishing. The more time it's on the rod, it's need to let it go. Right. It is perfectly fine for the drag to be used. Yeah, Mirror, that's absolutely true. Every single time you start the game up, the retrieval speed will change. If you move your, what's really funny is when you move your reel from, say, a bottom rod to a spinning rod. If you're using the same reel, what's going to happen is you're still going to have the 50 retrieval, so you got to adjust it also. I mean, if you want to spin fish with 50 speed, I mean, by all means, go for it. But to be completely honest, it's a lot less infuriating than... Hello, that's a big fat one. Hey, trophy gibble. Haha. I didn't think we'd get one of those this early. My trophy count on this one is going to be higher than my main account. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's a weekly record. I mean, not that it's really game oriented or it's important or anything, but if you look in the chat, it says, you know, weekly record. That means that it's the biggest one this week. And I know we have a fish on this rod. Like I said, we can take our time with it. Maybe it gets away, maybe it doesn't. It's fine. But if it says weekly record, that means actually that it's only a regional record. So whatever area you're in. So I'm in the US. For USA records, this is one of the biggest so far this week. If it says weekly world record, that means it's the biggest in the week for all regions. Now, I don't know if China and Russia, I know that they have their own like specific accounts. I don't know if those still come up. Yeah, top 5 for the region, yeah. Sorry, it doesn't have to necessarily be the top 1. It can be top 5. Or did I say top 10? It's definitely top 5. Bomer, I'm going to say this. If I had a blue tag on this account, I'm calling hacks on RF4. So Mirror, again, this is why you ask like for help from people in the chat and not be afraid of asking for that. Like, where are you going to go? Now, to be fair, I got a little help with some ground bait and some, what is this stuff called? Some garlic dough, which has helped a lot. But realistically, if you're, I think you said you're level 14, you should be able to make the ground bait and the garlic dough by the time you're about 14. Now, normally I would suggest going on a moving, but an old fishing adage, 13? Okay. Make sure you're working your harvesting bait skill, which is like making baits and stuff, and your ground bait as you're going. I would say every level, make sure you're going up at least 5%. At least. If you want to just grind it all the way out to 100%, do it. But I would say 5% per level, or else you'll end up like my main account where I'm still at 90% ground bait at level 35. I think my harvesting bait's at 90 or 95. All right. But what were we looking? Okay, we were looking at all this. So yeah, we went through all these pretty much. Once you get these two are not fishing rigs. Rocket feeder is for a spot rod. You're gonna throw out ground bait, and marker rod. That's for determining the bottom type and the bottom. Come on, RF4, stop. Yeah, the bottom type, distance to a spot, all that kind of stuff. Depth. It'll give you all kinds of information. We're still catching decent size fish here, and that's I started this, and I need to go in and finish it. There's an old adage in fishing: you never leave a spot where fish are biting, and I think that holds true for most everything. Now, somebody just caught a weekly record brim 5.194 kg. That's a blue tag. Hey, Freaky, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right, so if we go about, I don't know, 5 real life minutes without getting a fish, we'll go sell what we have. And we'll go check out the other places. Like I said, I wanted to get to 12 so we could explore the other places. I mean, of course, we can always come back here. Coming here is free. Now, this is another point of contention. Once you're at this level, now you got to start looking at, if I leave, is it going to be profitable enough? If you start jumping back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, you see this little silver thing here, that tells you how much it costs for you to travel there. Whining and Mosquito are free, and Cottage Pond are all free. But you got to make sure that if you go to Belaya for $8 or 8.9 silver, that you're going to get at least 8.9 silver worth of fish when you get there. Now, blue tag brim is 7 kg? Are you sure? Oh man, I know I've never caught one then. Oh, not blue tag, not blue tag. Oh, I'm thinking of Crucians. Crucian 5 kg. No. Anyway. I'm thinking trophies and stuff like that. I think a trophy is like 3.2, something like that. Maybe 3.5, I don't know. Like I said, I don't catch that many trophies normally. I've caught more trophies on this account than I have what I would suspect on. Apparently we had a couple small fish from last time that we just, yes, they will sell still, but we're just going to delete them. We must have had them left over without remembering. Right now, Freaky, we are at Mosquito. We've got a small fish here, just taking our bait horizontally. And as you can tell, we didn't get the bells weren't ringing on it. It wasn't really showing anything. It's a smaller brim, and it was going horizontal. So sometimes you just got to look at your lines and say, oh, well, that's not where it's supposed to be. Or if it's moving, you know. See, like, if you look here, you see the line is slacked. I know that I didn't leave slack in the line. So you can use the Y button to reel it in. And I can tell you from my experience, if you have to reel in more than a couple seconds and it's not coming in, pick it up, press R. More than likely. The Sorrento sensitivity is bad? Yeah. Now, some of these, you can adjust the sensitivity a little bit. They're supposedly fixed that clock with a G. Like in here, if it flickers. Yeah, see. They supposedly patched that about a month and a half ago or so. But it might still work. I know if you're in a shop, it will flicker if you have a fish on. Does it? Okay. The Sorrento. Yeah. First of all, we can just look at this. Yeah, it's 42 grams. And this one, the Sorrentos don't have an option to change. We'll cover that real quick. So up here, you see this 42 grams. That's how sensitive it is. I don't know a reference for, what this really means. I guess maybe at 42 grams, it takes 42 grams of pressure for it to move. Maybe, but if you see this, the comfort FDs, you have down to 14. Now, obviously, we can't change it because we got the lines out, but yeah. Royal pickers go down to 7 grams. Wow. Okay. So, but yeah, it's supposed to say how sensitive it is. So if you're over there fishing for one that people would know by now in the series is a roughy, right? Okay, let's check this out. It's slacked. It's not guaranteed to have something on yet. It just got knocked slack in it. Let's wait for we got one to be on. But if you're fishing for roughies or something along those lines, or bleak, for some reason on the bottom, and you're missing a lot. You get a lot of fish got away without even noticing anything changed. Maybe you change this from 28 grams to 14 grams because you might be getting smaller fish. Or like Bomer saying, if you have picker rods, maybe even have smaller than that levels. All right, so definitely something's on this one now. I don't see any flickers. Am I missing? Let's see once there's actually tension on the line. I know that there's a fish on there. Okay, now it's getting a little flicker. So it's waiting on the tension. Okay. And this is a very, very small one. 198 grams. All right, we're going to get one more, hopefully. We're going to get one more, and then we're going to jump over to... We're going to do Belaya first. Mainly, I recommend most people just going to uh, Old Bird, and we'll cover that completely. Not completely, but we'll cover it. You know what to do there and where to go, and some of the new things that go on there. But Belaya is different than either of the two places that we've been. Oldberg is kind of like Mosquito, but better. It's got a couple new carp species. You can start getting trophies in more stuff. But hey, I just thought about something. I actually have a trophy on Mosquito Lake now. We got 3 of them here and winding. Now on my main account, I think I've got the chub, dace, and white brim, maybe? I don't know if I got the white brim or not. But I'm going to tell you that all these are fairly simple to get, except for this one. The Donnet's Rough, you get a trophy Donnet's Rough, you've had a good day. They tend to pay very, very good. All right, we're not going to wait for another one. We're just going to run over here and sell these fish. Now, as you know, you can see my rods got left over there. And I just said we're going to leave. You don't have to worry about it. As soon as you move, it'll automatically pack all your stuff up and take it with you. Now, if there's a fish on, you're not going to get the fish, but, you know. Okay, so just to put things into perspective, Bomer, like I said, he's a big contributor. He's saying he's probably close to 5,000 hours on all his accounts, and it's no Donnet's trophy. 100%. Freaky is saying his first week on Mosquito, his first week playing the game on Mosquito, he got a blue tag gibble. Sometimes you love and hate people at the same time. All right, let's see what we got here. We didn't get any big perch. No 800, no trophy white brim. No roughies, I know, no hides. Tench, 800 grand, but not quite. We did get one roach. You got your gudgeon blue tag at 12. See, I've never gotten a blue tag, and I'm 35 on my main account. We need 3 of those. We only got 1. That's fine. 8 silver. I'm thinking that's pretty close. All right, let's change over to Crucians here. Okay, so it's still a little bit better to do the Crucian. There you go. Oh, you need 5 of them. I thought it was just 3. So that doesn't help. But we don't have anything to sell in the cafe. That one gibble carp, it's a trophy. It's only 13 silver. And for now, you're like, oh, that's a lot of silver. When we go to Belaya, we should be getting some fish that are somewhere around there on a regular. Assuming everything's working. There's 100 silver. It has been 1 hour and 9 minutes. Everybody that's been fishing on RF4 and is over level, I'd say over level 20, is going to say that's not enough silver. At this level, that's really good payday. Now, I'd like to get about 50 more and get 1 more starter kit, but we can deal with what we got. Like I said, we're going to start going at Belaya, mainly because I think I can get my money back quick enough that I can show you what is at Belaya, get my money, and then uh, move to Oldberg a little bit quicker than I could do it in reverse. Because at Oldberg, the main things you're going to go for. Now you can go for all the stuff, the bleak, the frogs. It's a great place to get tench, and there's a couple new species like eel that pay really well. They're a little bit more difficult to catch, but you can catch them. But here we are. This is Belaya. Now, as you can tell, it's not a huge map. Let's first thing we do when we go to a new water body, buy a map. Right. It's not a huge map. This is all the land you have. And although you see kayaks over on the side, there is no boat here to get in. You can't get a boat to go to any of the other places. All you have available is this island. Now, that being said, it's beneficial for a new player in that there's not a whole lot of places that you can go wrong, right? We'll switch over real quick. We'll do the part that we're a little more familiar with for now. We'll do 3.1 kg line, although it's not as good. And a size 14 hook is fine. Bloodworm. No. On this side, if you look at the topo over here, it's really, really shallow, mostly 1 meter deep at the deepest. One spot that always seems to have something is right here between these two bushes. It's right behind the fish market. I know I'm going to be biting my tongue after saying that, but it's not always active, guys. It's not, but we can try it. Let's drop this all the way to 17 centimeters. Let's see if we can get us a bleak. Okay, so the float is really light, so it's really hard to throw. It is a bit warm, yeah. This is where temperature really starts coming in. So for Belaya, normally you want it to be cold. Cold and raining, you're going to catch a lot of grayling. But for now, during the daytime, bleak. Yeah, that should be a bleak. You can see it kind of tapping a little bit. This is obviously going to be a smaller fish. And you got to remember this float is really, really small also, so it doesn't take a whole lot of force. It doesn't have a lot of resistance. It's a little crucial. A little bit further out, that's more likely to get a bleak or something. I'm not the person to really go to with all the specifics of like what temperature is the best for this type of fish. I just know that certain fish I've kind of learned. The more data you can keep in your brain or on the side, open up an Excel spreadsheet and keep this data like, hey, I caught gudgeon at this temperature at this, you can keep location there, but most of the important is the weather. What kind of temperature and everything. Jock sheet is good, but it doesn't really tell like the weather and all for each type of fish, does it? If it does, I haven't really looked to it. I use it for other stuff, which ground bait to use and such. Uh, I was really hoping that this would be a lot quicker. When the conditions are right and you're in the right spot here, it's a lot easier to catch. Now the good thing is once you find a spot here, you're there. You just keep throwing it in the same spot. Like this right here, that was quick. Okay. Mighty Red, what do you mean I'm back? I've been back. I've been here the whole time. Oh yeah, clock. I was about to say, oh no, you're gonna get bent or timed out, but oh my okay, yeah. I was hiding my cam so you could actually see the chat, but then I realized like I know it doesn't look good still, but I spent time to try and get my hair as good as possible, so I was like, turn the camera on. I don't even have the inappropriate music playing right now. I don't know what's going on for real. All right, so basically to find the spots up here, you can look on forums, find a spot that somebody's already found, or you had a purple screen for like 10 minutes. Sky, welcome back, bud. Don't know why you had a purple screen. Maybe your internet? Maybe my internet? I don't know. All right. If you remember, we said that when we get to Belaya, we're going to have to use this rod again. Now, obviously, this little lure here, the fishing furry TO1, it might catch something. And matter of fact, if you let's just go on and throw it out here. This is one of the more classic spots here. I don't know if it's still active or not. I saw people have actually been fishing on Belaya recently. I'm going to go for a little bit faster. Say about a 25. What I'll do is I'll let it sink for a little bit when it's downstream for 2 or 3 seconds and then start reeling again, and you'll get the speed up doing that. Now, is it really helping anything? Probably not. But the sinking of it, I've caught a lot of fish. I've caught a lot of fish on the sink as it's going down. Fishing, we normally call it on the drop, but whatever. Mighty Red, yeah. So this has been a long time coming. I think I know there's a couple other people that say they're going to work on it, but to be completely honest, everybody I've talked to said that they're going to work on a tutorial for this game for the last year, and I think it's just about time somebody gets on it. And I hope other people do more tutorials because I don't know enough about the ins and outs, the actual meat of the game. All I know is when you're starting out, you can do certain things and make it better, make it easier for yourself. Now, we don't need to just buy random lures, okay, guys? That's a really bad idea. You're going to spend a lot of silver buying stuff that you don't need. You're going to go to your records and ratings like we talked about last time. Go to your weeklies, see what's biting right now. So the fish that are here now, if you can go just Belaya and just see the types of fish that are available. The main ones you're looking for are brown trout and grayling. You can also look at chub, you know, but brown trout and grayling are going to be your biggest money. Spiker 218s, classic. Spiker 2, I think this is 8. Also a really good one. And the Achilles here. The brown, there's a purple one. It's almost always a really good choice. But if we're going to go here and come down to grayling, there. Spiker 2 007. And the Spiker 2 18 is still there, see? The 16's there. This is the Aquila 4 gram. But you're always going to use the smallest ones. I see somebody message me. I'll get to that in just a minute. Winding rivulet. So people are catching chub right now. Actually, they're using poppers too, which is weird. Oh, that's on tuba. And these are winding, so that's fine. The other one was brown trout. That's the big one we want to look at also. Grayling and brown trout are where your biggest silver is going to come. So Belaya, it looks like this yellow spiker. I doubt they're going to have it. We should have probably bought it before we got here, but spikers are down here. You want the one that says 3.53 gram, 3 centimeter, the lightest one possible. The Hornets are also good, and the Aquila 4 gram. That's the one if you're going to get the Achilles. But let's see if we can get any. They're out of stock of just about all of them. The blue one here we just saw, it is working. It might be worth it. The Aquila, it's sold out almost everything too. Again, it would have been better had I looked forward and bought this, because mosquito and winding, they're not going to be sold out as easily. Hornets, you can look at the same colors. The colors kind of dictate more than they put off as, but you can see like the blue. This brown one here, it works for me sometimes, but I don't want to just buy random ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy that blue spiker here. I know that this is going to work usually. Let's see real quick. Who's messaging me? Clockwise. Okay. We're going to pretend we just bought this one. I know, that's kind of cheating, but we're going to pretend like we just bought this one instead of this. We know it's 50 silver. Thank you, Clockwise, for helping out. Now, again, it's usually best, go over to your Discord, find Belaya, see what people have been using or where people have been catching stuff. Belaya doesn't usually have a whole lot of information on it. People don't generally fish in Belaya that much. Saw a couple people recently. I'm trying to look back real quick. Where? 19. Maybe it was in photos. All right. Well, I see a couple people posting pictures of the catches here, but they don't really say where they're at. Okay. So that being said, it's fine. But yeah, Mighty Red, I gotta keep a one-track mind at some point. I'm doing tutorials just because it's absolutely needed for this game. I don't want to just keep flashing back and forth in the screens, like go over to Discord and stuff like that. But the community Discord for Blue Tag Gaming, it's great. At the very bottom, you have all your maps. It'll kind of show you the different spots. This is one of them. I've always casted just in front of and just behind this rock, or right at the rock at times. So now okay, this is what we were talking about earlier. And it's okay, we can let the lure sink. You see all this fog here where you can start getting hazy? The later it gets, the more obtrusive this gets. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back over to settings and we're gonna turn that back off. I just kind of wanted to show you what the difference in this is. Now you can see it's gone. If you want the more realistic feel to it and all that stuff, by all means. Go for it. But most streamers aren't going to be doing that. This Corona rod is not throwing this lure that well, but if we're in the right spot, we should be still doing okay. I'm going to try slowing this down to maybe a 12. We're getting to dark. This is the part where we start getting into the problem with Belaya. At night, you can spin fish. You can catch some from time to time. But is it worth your time to try and catch all these fish overnight? Now, there's two things to do at night. First thing, get your bottom rigs out. You're going to change this, the biggest weight you got. You're going to leave this large hook on, and you're going to use, if you have night crawlers, use night crawlers, but red worms works just fine too. You're going to get a couple other species. Take for these feeder rods, just take your clip off. Just turn it all the way off. Max cast, back at the back wall. Now there are better places. See, we only got 31 meters. The fish are dead to you? They're dead for you? Everywhere. Well, maybe try some of these spots that we're going at. We did get fairly decent. Let me real quick disassemble this. We were getting brim on mosquito. Was it 7737? It was F5, that region right there, clip 20. We're getting pretty consistent. Oh, you gave it to me? I'm sorry. But yeah, it was getting pretty consistent. Ground bait is probably the biggest key to that. Right, so at 30, or yeah, I think we said 30 meters, I think is what we were getting. It's just barely getting into here. What you really want to do is get the bait into here, but that's like 45 or 50. You're hoping for some burbot here. Now, I'm going to take my telestick. We're going to go make one other purchase real quick. Actually, no, we have 14 hook. Yeah, we have a 14 hook. Red worm. 14 should be far or small enough. Baird's always dead. Come on. Now, I haven't been here in a while. I know that this used to be a really good spot for them. But I'm hoping we can find pretty quickly the roughies. $40 centimeters may not be deep enough. Yeah, I think I was using 60 the last time. But if they're here, you'll know it pretty quick. I tell you what, the other day I got on my main account and I started just trying to grind some silver. All I had was about an hour. So I did my happy hour. And I managed to get the game. Okay, so what you're running into is where that level cap is. It does tend to have like some kind of weird thing. Like it's hard to get those next one. Burbits, if you have baits. Put out 2 bottom rods for chub. I've never put out a bottom rod for chub. I don't know where to throw anywhere near here for chub. You're halfway to 26. Where can you go at 26? Oh, you can go to Amber at 26. Go to Amber. Peg 1 or the opposite of Peg 1. And then just go on the forums and find what boilies are biting. Oh, I thought you said you were half. Okay, you're halfway to 26. Okay, I got you. Okay, in that case, I would suggest Sura. Your gear's probably not really the best for it, but I think Sura Pond is okay. Donnets, if you're trying to get your float fishing up, find out where they're biting on Donnets. That's usually a good one. Volkov is always a good shout, whether you do brim, eastern brim, or trolling for salmon. Again, I wouldn't go to bear. Just my experience. Quarry is always a good possibility. So this spot's not working. I know I haven't been watching that hard, but $30 and 3 fish. Yeah, it sounds like you need to go somewhere else. I'm trying to think because all you need is regular experience. So you need either rare fish or what kind of gear do you have, Sky? Like for your bottom setup. Are you looking at like 6.5 to 8.5 kg? 1 caliber in Fortuna? Okay. So you can get uh you can get into carp a little bit at least. You know what I'm gonna do, guys, since I got a little help already anyway. I'm gonna buy a new float. And I really like these floats. Let's try here for roughies. See, it casts so much better, and it's still small and lightweight. So you're wanting a volume of fish. So I think the best opportunity is just if all you're trying to do is get experience, those brim. Brim on a Model 1, yeah. So Carp would have been an okay choice, but again, Bear is so inconsistent. There we go. I don't know that I'd really want to tell you to go to Bear. Yeah, I would probably just grind out those brim. Get that next level up, and then, you know, go do whatever you want. If you want to do more carp fishing, do more carp fishing. They was biting on tuna boilie. Yeah, but bear, they move a lot. That's what I've found recently, is they tend to move a lot. I'm talking about they have a 4 or 5 day, it's just 4 or 5 hour cycle. I think that, you know what, go to Old Bird, go to the boot heel, you know, down there on the bridge, and see if you can get you some grass carp or black carp. $107,100. Have you caught them recently, Bomer? I think that's actually where we were getting. I forget what we were getting, but that was what we were at yesterday, or the last time we were here. This is going to be another gibble carp, pretty sure. Oh, okay. Yep. I think I really need to get a size 20 or 24 hook if I want to try and do this for real. I mean, if he's got a caliber, he's doing okay. He'll be okay on the grass. just me. We'll run over here to this next spot. We'll look over and make sure these aren't just... see? One of these has something on it, and it's not ringing because it's small. Keep getting purple screen chat. Buddy, I don't know what's going on with that. What did we get? Yeah, I can see it's very small. A 50-gram brim. That's exactly what we were fishing for, you know. Yeah, if your drivers aren't up to date, that could be an issue. Although I would say that I have AMD and I don't have any issues. Now, I don't have an AMD video card. Now, that might be the big difference. I love AMD, but I'm not getting their video cards anytime soon. I know they're really good. If you're not streaming, check them out. I know that they do work, but as for general purpose, they're great. Oh, you have a Ryzen Threadripper. What kind of video card though? If you got a Threadripper, I want to hear at least a 2090 or 2080. Or if you have a full AMD build, a 6900 XT, of course. So, here's the funny thing about that. One of the guys that when I started trying to stream that game Worm Online, he had just started streaming, and I was like, okay, hey, how's it going? He was just talking to my chat. He's like, I'm going to start streaming. I was like, okay, that's fine. And he was bragging about his computer, and I was like, okay, he just spent like $2,000 on this computer. I was like, okay, well, you must have a nice computer. And I'm going over like what I think the specs are. And he's like, well, no, I went Intel. For a $2,000 computer, I mean, it's your preference, do what you want. But he started talking about it and talking about it. And I was like, okay. So, but what kind of video card? And he goes, oh, it's a 1060 I had in my old computer. I was like, then what did you spend $2,000 on? Now, don't get me wrong. He's got, I think it was a 10900K. He's got a decent, what is that thing called? He has a decent motherboard. He's got a, you know, all in all, everything else is it's not my choice of equipment, but it would be acceptable. Got water cooling, not custom water cooling, but just like an AIO for his processor, but not for his thing. I was like, I still don't get where you get your $2,000. And apparently his case was like $250. I'm too much of a budget builder. Guys, I'll tell you, there's a company, I can't even remember the name of it. They make the nicest little case for a micro build. Your case is 200, 250. See, I couldn't do that. My son, I built his computer, and I was like, I'm going to make it nice. His case is $50. Oh, that's oblique. All right, well, first of all, it's daytime now. We're well into daytime. Let's throw this out there. Obviously, this Corona rod is not really meant to throw these small lures like this. It is a light rod, but I don't think it's quite on par with where it needs to be. But I like that little, I wish I knew the name of that thing. I have to look it up now. Hurry up. Oh, Dark Flash. I've built 3 computers in it. Dark Flash, I just looked at it and I didn't actually read. DLM 21 mesh. It's a great little case. I love that thing. My son has a white one that I built. I built 2 other ones in black cases for customers, actually. Be Quiet 900. Okay. I actually know those 2 cases, and yeah, they're really good quality cases, but that's just not. That's not where I would spend my money, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion, right? That's the great thing about cases. You can get a decent case for cheap, or you can get a decent case that looks good and pay as much as you want. All right, we're gonna go and try and move around. Once you find these guys, they're usually pretty simple to find or to catch. You're getting a H710i. It's a nice. I like the 700i, the old one. And the new 710s look really nice. I just have questions about their airflow. I'm getting too much. I gotta stop. I'm gonna get too much into a techie stream. I gotta stop. I do really like the case, Whiskey. I'm just gonna say it like that. Check my server Oh, hey, there's a fish. Oh, for Discord? Okay, let me jump on over. General. Okay. All right, I messaged you back, Sky. Uh, yeah, so long story short, for anybody that's wondering about Sky's issue that he's having, he's going through the browser, and I don't know what the issue is, but if you download the Twitch app, a lot of that stuff goes away. Just because there's a lot of room for the big AIO and the 3090 is the case. Hey, there's a little brown trout. That's not quite what we're wanting in terms of size. But here's kind of the funny thing about this setup, right? This is the free one that they give you. This rod is only 2.5 kg rated. The reel is up to 3 kg. This could actually be our biggest problem right now. Is a line. That's what we're going to change first. Come on, reel. Actually, we got one while reeling it in. A little chub. There we go. Catch 3 types of fish. There we go. Let's see if we can just buy us a leader, classic leader. You don't want to get steel. You'll not catch hardly anything if you get steel. Nylon, I've never found a need to have a nylon, like regular monofilament. 7.7, like this one would work. But the leader is so much stronger than any of our gear. I hate doing this, but it's the only one available, and it should work just fine. The best option is to have somebody make you one. You might have to buy some stuff for them. But this should significantly change our bite rate. But yeah, whiskey, 100%. It is a good case. Again, I just don't know about its airflow. Hey, there's a grayling. That's exactly what we were looking for. It's not tagged, but hopefully, we can get some more that are. Again, control right click if you want to set the hook. This one's strong enough that I want to set the hook. Looks like it's going to be a little chub. Which is, or it's asp. Okay, wow. Okay, that's crazy. How far are we on that? Classic spinning. Catch a fish of 3 kg and 7, using 7 different lures. Okay. Again, that should not be your focus, is those qualifications. Hey, another fish on. We're wanting one that has to pull drag a little bit, because I'm pretty sure anything that's tagged is going to be pulling drag. We are just getting smaller fish. I don't know what the... I might just need to upgrade the line. Would help out a lot. Every piece of your it's not as effective anymore, but everything in your string actually helps. So better line, better leaders, better everything. Right now, we've got a fluorocarbon line, but it's kind of big for our setup. But if I was coming here with my gear that on my main account, I'd be using a leader about this size also. If I was really trying to go for so let's go on and put this 3.1 on there. Stick with that. Let's see if that helps out any at all. I think we've got a bite on those bottom rigs. Or, no, we took up the bottom rigs. See, if we do manage to get another bite and it's another really, really small one, what we'll do is we'll move a little bit. It's another small one. And it's a chub. So right on this side, sometimes you get a little bit different, but we're going to move a little bit more than that. We're going to try this spot right behind the rock. All it's going to take is one good fish, and we've paid for our entire trip here. And to be completely honest, we should be able to get that fairly easy. Lift the rod so you don't get snagged up. I think one thing that is happening on this is we're not quite throwing it as far as I was hoping. So let me go in and reel this in because it's already tapping across the bottom. We'll go over why we're not casting very far. Get that back out. So this says the test is 2 to 10. I find that a little hard to believe because this one's at 3.5 kg. We're getting the flicker. I thought we already... Oh, we left one rod out. Okay. Let's go run over there and get that. So 2 to 10 means we should be able to throw it very, 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 very easy. Exactly, Red. We got to run, 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 run. I knew this wasn't going to be a big fish, but... Hey, it's a river mussel. It's something different. You know Draft's friend I sent you the videos for? That's the whole reason he says he wants to be a goalie. So he doesn't have to run. sensible. Nah, the one thing I told Draft when he's training with me, he always has this idea that, you know, oh, well, you know, we're not going to run that much in a game, blah, blah, blah. You know, I only need to run that much. Let's look at it this way. If you're going to play football or soccer, right? You need to make running your most favorite activity. That needs to be what you do to calm down. That needs to be what you do when you're stressed. It needs to be what you do to release everything. That it can't be your source of stress. You can't hate running and play, especially not as a midfielder. Especially the way all the coaches around here want to push. If you're a midfielder, you have to be a box-to-box mid. I think I'm about to switch to the blue. See how that goes. Okay, I'm pretty sure most everybody here knows, but if you don't, Salty McSalty is hosting the league competition today. If you're around at 1 o'clock my time, Central Time, or if you're somewhere else over like in UK, I think it's like 7 o'clock. He's saying he's starting at 3 Eastern, so that'll be 2 Central. Mrs. Red loves running. I didn't want to tell you this, Red, but that just means she's trying to get away from you. But yeah, if you're in the game and you want to kind of get a good fun time, join Salty McSalty. CET is 9 p.m. I think that's 8 p.m. maybe for all you UK people. We'll switch to blue and just see how that works out for us. I don't usually have as much trouble finding fish on Belaya, but I am using different equipment. This is lesser equipment. I'm, you know, I can't quite throw it as far for some reason, which is odd. It might be because I'm not using braid. And that could have a lot to do with it. So if you don't know real world stuff, right? Mono is much harder to throw than braid. Braid just flies off, usually. Mono tends to have a little more resistance. Fluoro's even worse. That's why you use a fluoro leader and braid line. Braid line you don't want to put to the lure because it's the most visible. There's another little fish. It's a grayling. It is a grayling. Again, still not tagged. We're at least getting fish. A fish now. Let's let it sink and then reel it up a little. I was hoping this would be an easy thing because I spent so much time here. With the right gear, by now, I have a full bag already. I don't think I can get any braided line. And even if I could, it'd be probably more expensive than buying a new rod. So you just restarted your PC? Yeah. So Sky, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about the web server. I've never used it, but I do know that it's a little more troublesome than the app. I'm gonna try retrieving at a really slow speed. See if that helps. It is cloudy, so the blue should work better. And again, it is pretty warm for Belaya. 17 degrees. That's wow, he just came up and smacked it. Yeah, I've never had that purple screen at all. My guess is you've either got some driver issues or some kind of content lock. Oh, that's exactly what we want. Want to hear that drag run. There, finally we got a grayling. A real grayling. There's another one. Now, once they're over that tagged mark, they tend to pay really well. Let's let it sink a little bit like we did last time. And then start retrieving. We're retrieving really slow. I don't know if that's better or worse. But now that we found like a couple of them that are tagged, I think we should probably spend a little bit of time trying to optimize our bite. Okay. Now, bottom fishing, how do you optimize your bite? You want to get more bites, you use smaller gear. You want to get bigger bites, you use bigger hooks. Now, there's a balance, right? Because you don't want to put a 2 kg leader on a 2/0 hook and hope that, you know, a 60 kg fish is going to bite, because you're never going to get it in. And more than likely, you're going to end up breaking off and you're going to lose that hook. Oh, wait. It's not all the way up yet. Let's switch to the yellow. Let's see if the yellow helps us out any at all. If not, we can always switch back to the blue. I think the what is it, the 18? The blue with red dots is supposed to be working better than just the plain blue. Guys, I've been really happy. Today y'all I mean, every one of these tutorial videos, I've had about 10 to 15 of you guys in here pretty much all the time. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the effort of making this tutorial and putting some input in from time to time. I know that these low levels, it kind of focuses on the grind a lot. The early grind, it's kind of hard, especially for those of us that have gotten through it. Thank you for the follow there, Fat Jeff. Probably right there in the same categories. Big Joe and Fat Jeff. I think we could be friends. But I really do appreciate, you know, all the support you guys have been giving. If you are enjoying this little tutorial, by all means, go to the YouTube, set them to watch. Since you've already seen it, more than likely you're just going to want to, you know, let it play through as you're leaving or whatever, but just give it some playtime. I really do appreciate it if you do. Plus, if you go through that video and it goes to if you have the auto, like go to the next video, you're going to end up some weird stuff coming out of this. Oh, I was really hoping this would have gone a lot smoother. There are some changes that we gotta make, I think. Before we can really start getting into catching stuff here. Of course, we're catching things. I think one of the biggest problems we're having is we're not able to cast the places that I'm used to fishing at. I've caught stuff on both ends now. I know there's places here in the middle that normally do work. I'm just gonna see, is there any way? I don't have a whole lot. Oh, they added some new lines. Okay. 4.5 kg. That's really big for us. We could do that. They added this braid in. These did not used to be here. Not that I remember anyway. 18, there's 3.5 kg. That's not too bad. 3 kg. So we're starting to get into a lot of silver though, right? This is probably what we would want to get if we could. But I think we're going to have to go with this. This is 0.11 millimeter. So let's just compare that to what we have right now. 0.11 compared to 0.2. May not seem like a big difference, but we're going to actually buy some of that. I wish we could just go in and get the 350 meters of it. But we don't have 50 silver right now. We spent all our money on other stuff. Want black or green? Let's go with black. One, B. Change this over to this. Now you see, if we had the 350 meters, we could put almost all of it on here and not worry. We would be set. That's what you're using as a hybrid line. Yeah, it's not the best, but if you're at this level, you're level 20, okay. If you can get the next level up, I would. And make sure you're using the most line you can put on there. Now, mind you, we're with a spark reel here. And because you're on a light line, you're limited to what is it? 2000 series reels. So you're not going to have a whole lot of space. That's the reason you want to use braid. Braid tends to be smaller. Now, I don't know how much. It might just be this rod, to be completely honest. I didn't see that much of a difference in casting. Well, Fat Jeff, where have you been fishing at? Mostly Old Berg. Okay. That's probably where most people are going to go. Now, I try to jump over here because I spent so much time at Belaya when I was at that. Now, granted, you couldn't get to Belaya till you were 14 when I first started. But I spent the time from 14 to 30. I probably spent about 80% of my time at Belaya. Let's go sell some of these fish and see. I'm gonna be sick if I have like 30 something silver. I don't think I will. Oh, it's 10. Okay. First thing to always do is check. All right. Yeah, that's worth it. That's an easy upgrade there. You have your second upgraded rod and reel soon. Okay. Nice. So what are you using now? And this is what I was talking about earlier. So you catch a 500-gram grayling. It's almost 3 silver by itself. That's 500 gram. You're using the starting feeder kits, okay. And what are you upgrading to? You have a Fortuna feeder. Okay. You're level 20? I would say stop buying feeders. What percentage is your bottom fishing at? Oh, you bought that a while ago? Okay. Yeah, it's just my advice on future. Don't buy any more feeders. 56. Okay, I think I'll check it again if it's 60, I think. Ah, nice little chub. This one. Yeah, 60, you're gonna be getting carp rods. So save up your silver so you can get a Fortuna carp rod. In other words, just use what you have and save up your silver for a carp rod. It will be a huge difference. Oh, there you go. So you already know. And then you can start worrying about upgrading your reels to fit, right? So I'm assuming you mean you're still using the what are those little reels called? The ones that come with the starter kits. Okay, now this is the type of fishing I'm used to. You just reel it up a little bit, let it drop, and you catch a fish. Now, granted, these are eyed. This is not exactly what I was hoping to catch. Not just an eyed, but it was a small eyed. Let's see. These, the Les 32s is what I'm assuming you're using at the moment. Oh, there we go. Going to set the hook. Oh, okay, so you have some Saber 60s. That's good. That's a good move. Aha, so this is going to be a good fish. The only real thing you have to worry too much about here is taming. Pike, a little bit, yeah. Actually, speaking of pike, I need to back that off a little bit just in case. So the good thing is we have 110 meters to work with. We need to make sure we keep tension on here. All right, this guy isn't moving a whole lot. I'm thinking this is a grayling. I think this is just a good size grayling. The problem is he's downstream of us. We can't force him upstream. So there's two ways to tire a fish out. One, you keep pressure on him. And number two, you can make him swim upstream. That will tire him out also, just like in real life. If you can, you want him to go upstream. But you never, ever, ever want to lose all your tension in the line. But yeah, Jeff, I think you're on the path, bud. If you have a saber, I'd say get another one, maybe. And then once you get carp rods, then your next upgrade will be to the alpha caliber or what's that other one? Narga. I say it in that order because that's the cost of them. I guess the gold 80 is also an option, but I would stick to one of those three. You have another saber today. There you go. I don't think this is a pike, so I'm gonna put a little more pressure on this. I'm really hoping it's not a pike because that's a lot of silver for us right now. I'm being a little bit greedy with this because of this is an alternate account and I'm not too worried about it. If this is your main account and you're at this level, by all means, do not take these risks. Don't get it up into the heavy reds or anything like that, because it could be a pike. And if it's a pike and you're in the red, it's going to bite it off because you don't have a leader that's really gonna... Let's see if we can lift him up out of the water. He's not far out. He's just right there. What is that? Is it an asp? Yeah, it's a little asp. Dadgummit. Oh, it's a chub. Okay. 1.5. Not too terrible. So chub are one of those that they're big. They don't really get a lot of money, but they can pull hard. And a Fortuna Carp Rod. Yeah, there you go. No, so Angus, they changed it to 12. It started off at 14, then they changed it to 13, then I guess I changed it to 12. So you open Belaya and Old Burg at the same time now. Which to me makes a lot of sense. That means you open up a bottom area and a spinning area at the same time. Now, the one problem with buying gear for Belaya is you're not going to use that same spinning gear later until you get all the way up to Tunguska, which means level 30. So it just depends on how long you're planning on being at Belaya as to how much you want to invest in your... of course. Lower my friction brake. If you remember the other day we had the issue with the telestick. We got snagged up. Let's go on and pull this retrieval speed up so we can just quickly reset. We don't want to go in the red. But because we have this reel, now we can try and pull the snag from this without having to worry about breaking anything off. Now, if we wanted to, we could just sign out and sign back in, and it will be unsnagged and we'll have everything ready to go again. Or we can just change locations. And to be completely honest, that's actually what we're going to do. You could just keep doing that. You right click, we'll try and unsnag it. You just reel it up, add a little tension to it, right click to try and unsnag it. There used to be several other ways to do it, but they got rid of them. We're going to travel to Old Burg. I don't have much longer left in the stream today. I'm going to jump over to Old Burg. I don't know where stuff is biting on Old Burg, but it's 22. So that means it's getting night. I tell you what, does anybody know a good eel spot? Anybody in the chat? The one bad thing is, yeah, they're still sold out of the regular 30 piece. Eel, Jeff. That's what I'm looking for. Although I might need some night crawlers. There was a spot forever, like right here. $47.20. I'll take a look at where that's at after I set these. Okay. Let's see. $47.20 is over here. $47. I keep forgetting this. We're brand new here. First thing we need to do, just like every other new body, administration map. I don't even have 5 silver. I might after I sell these couple fish though. You can sell fish at other places. That hide was worth 6 silver. It's kind of a lifesaver. So it's down here, I'm guessing. Now one of these is going. Which one? Let's zoom in and take a closer look. The other one was like 35.58. Just here. Yeah, I remember this. It's like right in that green patch there. It's been a while since I've seen one right there. Here, I'll ask in this chat. Watch Oldberg be an actual place that they're having the competition at or something. For those that don't know, I don't get into the blue tag league only because I don't usually have the time during that. I think I've gotten into one. It was a good time. Yeah. What's going on? Let's just run over here. Let's put them here and then discuss. Oh, I've caught them right there too. All right. By any chance, does anybody have like I don't want many, I like 10 night crawlers that they can send me. Or fish pieces, I guess, would work. Okay, well that one just took it and then let it go. The other thing is usually these spots are also good for tench. Oh, looks like somebody's already got me there. Bomer, thank you, buddy. It's twice as much as I asked for. In both of them. Nice job there, Mirror. Congratulations. Let's go on and reel this in. Let's put a night crawler on there. Now, one thing you're going to want to beware, like pieces of fish, you're pretty safe. The only thing that's going to bite that could be bad would be catfish. You'll know if you have a catfish. Now, night crawlers, on the other hand, you could get anything to bite. You could get grass carp, eel, which is what you're trying to, tench, which is, your alternative, what you're trying for. You can get all kinds of stuff. Posture, Acacia, welcome, welcome, welcome. You come in right at the end again. I'm sorry. Oh, somebody caught 128 gram Donnet's Rough, and that's a record. You just want to see this. And just think, I've gotten all these people, freebies on the stretching. Your phone just now suggests I open your. Yeah, that you're gonna have to upgrade your phone. It's time to get over that old razor. Oh, dude, have you seen the new razors that they're coming out with? Speaking of razors, so it's got the touchscreen on the outside, but it still flips to where you can have like a full size touchscreen. Two screens that I could break. It's amazing. It's a great idea. Yes, Mir. First, you have to have level 20, and you have to have premium. You have the iPhone 12 Max Pro. Well, somebody's flexing a little. I mean, I've got a Google Pixel, so I've got all the same features with Google integrated. So I paid, I don't know, $400 less. Big flex. Mir, if you want to know, premium's up here. Uh, see if I can switch to it real quick. Screw. For some reason it's slow to load. Well, there we go. I don't know why it's taking so long to load up that thing. You'd think they'd want that to be their best part of their server. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on it and see if we can get it up there. But it depends on how long you want to get it for. It can be anywhere from, I think it's like $3 or something to $15 a month. Oh, 100% Bomer. It's look, I'm not a content creator for RF4, right? I've never been asked to. I've never met the requirements for it. I'm not going to argue with them, and I'm not going to try and get something that I haven't earned yet. So I'm going to say this as honestly as I can. Okay. Premium, unless you're a streamer, is not worth it. Yes, you're going to get the EXP boost. Yes, you can send stuff to other people. If you want to be a bigger part of the community, I guess it'd be the only other alternative reason. But as it sits, don't get premium. You don't need the boost in experience. Realistically, you'll be ahead of your silver grind anyway. If you are planning on streaming it, then by all means, you kind of have to. You just checked your drivers, manually updated your drivers. Hello. I don't know what this is, but like I said, there's only two types of fish, or three types of fish that will bite. And only two of them are going to pull drag on a 4 kg of drag. And one of them would be moving a whole lot less than this. So I think this might be an eel. Dude, if I get a trophy eel, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll quit. I'll be done. This is trophy. It's a nice eel, but it's nowhere near trophy. So if you're wondering why I don't normally fish for eel, this is it. It does take a long time. Okay, that means that it finally settled to the bottom. And it still gives you that purple screen. I don't know, Sky. Download the app. That's all I can tell you. But yeah. Oh man, I've got a little headache. My wife's watching. Easy Amber order. Catfish. Yeah. So we saw that those 2 kg 2 kg brim. Well, first of all, let's check the cafe. This is the cafe, by the way. This is a 4 kg one, 500 silver. Yeah, so we're nowhere near that one. But 2 kg eel, brim was like maybe 3 silver. Here's a 2 kg eel, 43 silver. They're very slow to catch. And you can only catch them, well, you can't only catch them at night. You can catch them during the day, but it's a lot less likely. But 43 silver on one fish. They upped that, by the way. That didn't used to be that much. They buffed it pretty heavy. This is going to be a Chinese sleeper. I'm almost certain. Well, it's too big for a Chinese. That's a burbot. Okay. I forgot about burbot. That's your fourth species. I didn't think burbot would be biting over here. I'm just surprised the Nightcrawler hasn't gotten any action at all. I don't think with bottom fishing you have to have a certain level to use a leader. No, you can use a leader anytime. Paternoster. Pick her up. Okay, 40. All right, but yeah, so that 40 silver. This is what I use. This is the Twitch app. I would highly suggest just going on and downloading it. It's lightweight program. It doesn't use much resources at all, and you have all this stuff on it. Speaking of which, we need to find who's streaming right now that we need to raid, because it is after 12, and although my wife is not here, tell me my headache, she knows that I'm streaming. Yeah, it is. It's one of those situations where it gets back and forth with them. Anybody you guys prefer? Normally I'd say whiskey, and I'd probably go to whiskey now. I would say Poonie, but I'm pretty sure if you're not in Poonie's stream on the side right now, you should be. Realistically, being both of these guys here, if you just want to put it on low volume, it's a fishing game. And most of these guys, they don't just sit there and talk like I do. I talk too much, I know. Okay, we're gonna get these. I think this one's on the slack line. We're gonna try and get 2 more fish, regardless of what they are. We're gonna call it a day. We're gonna raid whiskey, but we're gonna try and trade this guy in so we can get a comparison of like an eel to a burbot. Burbot's also a desired species. It's a really good one to focus on at nights. My cords are 35-58, and I'm just using I think a 7 clip. I'm gonna have to take some medicine. That thing is just pinging. Come on and bite. Yep, old bird. What's really funny, guys, anybody that's not in the US will know this already. Will maybe not hear this. If this was a US lake, it'd be OLE, OLE. We would never call it Oldberg. No, not 17, 7. There. 50. Fixed it for you. All right. This one's probably a roach. I don't know what that one is. It's popping every now and then. Uh-oh. Somebody's got the weekly telescopic world record. If you notice this. Oh! Oh! That's a grass carp. We're going to let him take it for a minute. See if it's going to pull too hard. Let's go to RF4. Instead of just showing my screen. Alright. Here's the next big fight that we're going to have that we probably shouldn't be in. Oh, no. Nope, he's small. 2.1. There's a grass carp. That's a great comparison size also. All right. This guy has popped several times. Tightened up a little bit. So right now, we've got 2 of these plus that 2 kg eel that we just got. This is exactly the kind of comparison that I want to show real quick right before we close this one out. You know, we're gonna go sell these. If this one's on when we get back, we'll extend it long enough for me to get that. I didn't think a 2 kg grass carp was gonna come in that easy either, though. I don't think this is a cafe order. Oh, it is. So we could trade this guy in for 18 silver. So that kind of tells you that we're nowhere near that eel, right? Now, granted, this is a 1.2 and not a 1.8. Give it that. But we're going to go just look at the raw price first, right? We're just going to sell it straight. 6 silver. 2 silver. This is because fish trade at different silver per kg. You know, this one's bigger, but this one's worth more. And that eel was about the same size as this, and yet it was 20 times more value, over 20 times more value. So, different fish have different values. Or, again, for 18 silver instead of 6, we're going to sell this here. You always want to sell to the cafe first. That means in this little time we've had 43, then 19, so call it 60, and then 3, so 63 silver in one night. We came over here at 5 till. It's now 23, so less than 30 minutes. Is this on? It is on. Yeah, this is going to be a Chinese sleeper. Yeah, and he's not going to be worth anything. I'm not going to worry about showing him. Yeah, 55 gram Chinese sleeper is not worth anything. It's going to be less than half a silver. We'll go in and sell that real quick. And we're going to jump over and say hi to Mr. Whiskey. $35 gram. Oh. I think it's 35.58. It's right here, just right outside. You'll stand right here and cast just like where this thing ends. You'll cast straight into that green, kind of towards the log that's on the other side over there. And remember, you're not going to catch eel except for night, more than likely. I mean, you can every now and then you'll get an odd ball. There's Mr. Whiskey. Oh, Whiskey, we're on our way over. Raid. Make sure I spell his name right since he doesn't know how to spell whiskey. No problem. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Hope you all catch tons of trophies, much more than I've gotten. For some odd reason, I've been getting them. Have a good time. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel. Comment. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. Feel free to give any suggestions inside of the Discord. Whether you want stuff better in the Discord or you want better stuff in the stream. Let me know. I'm open to any suggestions. I'm here to make it better for you guys. Y'all have a good one. I'm out, guys.